The note had arrived under the most clandestine circumstances, delivered into the hands of the O5 council member by a senior researcher whose face was etched with lines of exhaustion and dread. The paper was a grim artifact, a canvas stained with mud, swamp water, and, unmistakably, blood. As the council member manipulated the fragile sheet, turning it this way and that under the dim light, the inked words squirmed as though alive, struggling to convey their urgency. "Have every word transcribed," the council member instructed, passing the soiled page to an aide. "Make sure every council member has access to it immediately." A terse nod, and the aide hurried off, leaving the council member alone with a screen that soon displayed the uploaded document. Words appeared, some replaced by lines of black ink. Redacted for reasons of security or, perhaps, sanity. Redacted. Facility. Log transcription. Event. Redacted. I don't have much time to write this down. The clock on the wall, what's left of it, shows 23:47. I can hear that thing getting closer. Its growls reverberate through the disintegrating concrete walls, a cacophony of impending doom. It's only a matter of time now. We had all the data, all the intel, and yet nothing could have prepared us for the anomaly. It adapts, evolves, almost as if it's learning from us more than we're learning from it. Our first interaction was a disaster. Dr. Redacted is gone, and Redacted has been severely injured. Their screams still echo in my ears. Why didn't we listen to the warnings? I can't give you much. The anomaly is not of this world, or perhaps it's a grotesque mirror reflecting the darkest corners of reality. The first team that was dispatched to the swamp is MIA, presumed lost to the creature. They were experienced, seasoned. That's what makes this so terrifying. Even they were no match for it. The higher-ups will try to contain it, no doubt. They'll fail. Guns, bombs, exotic containment measures. I fear none of it will suffice. It's like trying to trap a shadow, a malevolent force that defies the very laws of physics. Is there even a way to contain pure malevolence? I don't have the answers, but if this note reaches you, know that we have unleashed something we can't control. You must find a way to stop it, at any cost. As the aide left to execute the commands, the council member's gaze returned to the screen. Their eyes did not betray fear, dread, or even the slightest hint of concern. They showed only calculation, as though processing variables in a complex equation. The council member initiated another secure channel. Ensure this transcription is dissected for further analysis. I want a psychological profile on the author and a cross-reference with any known anomalies displaying similar characteristics. This is not the end. It's merely a preliminary assessment. We need to uncover the layers that lie beneath these inked words. Nodding at the screen's unblinking cursor, they knew well that this transcription was just the first piece in a larger, more ominous puzzle. The council member initiated a separate screen, preparing to review the newly arrived follow-up transcription. Just as before, sections were redacted, leaving an unsettling combination of knowns and unknowns. The text resumed, continuing from where it had left off. Redacted. Facility log. Transcription. Event. Redacted. Continued. I've barricaded myself in an unused storage room. The door won't hold for long, but it's buying me a few precious moments. Is this my epitaph, then? A hurried note in a decaying room? Our initial containment attempt was designed based on previous encounters with similar entities. Multi-layered electromagnetic fields, reinforced with the latest redacted technology. But it was like using a spiderweb to catch smoke. The anomaly seemed almost amused by our attempts. Amused! Can such an entity even experience amusement? Dr. Redacted suggested utilizing a cocktail of chemicals that had proven effective on other extra-dimensional entities. We called it Solitude Solution. A misnomer if ever there was one, because the only solitude it brought was the absence of life in its vicinity. I was part of the team responsible for administering the chemicals. We donned protective gear and followed every safety protocol. Yet as soon as the substance made contact with the anomaly, something changed. It was as if the air became thick, electric. Meters spiked, alarms blared, and containment fields flickered. In that instant, I felt it. a gaze, unseen but palpable, drilling into me. We lost 5 men and women in the ensuing chaos. They didn't stand a chance. The anomaly writhed, expanded, and contracted in ways that defied spatial logic. It consumed them, but not before morphing into grotesque forms that mimicked their worst fears. It knows us. It knows what we dread. This isn't an entity bound by physics or biology. It's a living paradox, a malevolent abstraction. It doesn't feed on matter. It feeds on possibilities, on the potential contained in sentient beings. What could be more terrifying than a predator that devours not just your flesh, but your very essence? There's more to share, but I hear it scratching, scraping against the barricaded door. It won't be long now. Whatever comes next, heed these words. Do not underestimate it. Treat it not as an entity to be contained, but as an aberration to be eradicated. Otherwise, it's not just redacted facility at stake. It's far, far worse. The council member lowered their eyes from the screen, momentarily pondering the weight of the words. The gravity of the situation had escalated, but their expression remained as inscrutable as ever. Bring me all the data we have on the chemical Solitude solution, and ready a task force specialized in non-Euclidean entities, they instructed, tapping a command into the keyboard. We'll need to approach this from angles we've yet to conceive. As the aide hastened to fulfill the instructions, the council member considered the 2 transcribed notes in unison. They were not just cautionary tales, but grim riddles. Each sentence, each phrase, a clue to understanding the indefinable horror that was the anomaly. And so, the puzzle grew in complexity, each piece more confounding than the last. But puzzles, no matter how intricate, have solutions. And the O5 Council was nothing if not relentless in their pursuit of answers, however eldritch they may be. A 3rd transcription appeared on the council member's secure screen. Redacted elements interspersed the text, and the sense of urgency heightened. This was, evidently, a message penned in the direst of circumstances. Redacted. Facility log transcription. Event. Redacted. Continued further. The door is giving way. Each thud, each splintering crack signals the inevitable. But before the end, I need to provide some insights into the anomaly's capabilities. Insights that could save countless lives if heeded. Oh God. Why is it laughing? First, do not mistake its morphing, its shape-shifting, as mere biological evolution. It is more akin to dimensional iteration. It seems to sample multiple states of existence at once and chooses the most advantageous. It's not just adapting, it's selecting realities. Secondly, it has a psychic element. I can't overstate this enough. Those in close proximity experience hallucinations, crippling fear, and in some cases, complete psychological breakdowns. Whether it's intentional or a byproduct of its existence, the effect is devastating. It doesn't need to touch you to destroy you. Finally, understand that it's not confined by time in the manner we understand. Events that unfold around it seem jumbled. Future possibilities loop into the present, while past occurrences reiterate as if stuck in a recursive cycle. It's like the anomaly exists in a state of temporal flux, unbound by linear progression. It's always now and never, here but elsewhere. I'm out of time. The door won't hold much longer. To whoever reads this, remember that the anomaly isn't just a creature, it's an event. A cosmic inconsistency that defies categorization. Treat it as such. The transcription ends abruptly, cut off as though the writer was suddenly unable to continue. The council members' fingers stilled over the keyboard. They took a deep breath, absorbing the gravity of the new revelations. Compile all documented instances of nonlinear time phenomena and psychic events within Redacted facility. Cross-reference them with this latest transcription, they commanded into the secure channel, their voice unflinching. Assemble another task force, this one equipped with temporal stabilizers and psychic dampeners. This is an unprecedented situation. We'll need unprecedented measures. Their eyes lingered on the unfinished sentence, the truncated plea that formed the note's conclusion. It was a haunting ellipsis that promised further horrors, unanswered questions, and imminent danger. But the council had never shied away from the abyss. They would stare into it, unblinking, until the abyss itself recoiled in apprehension. A terse report surfaced on the council members' encrypted interface, its contents ominously brief compared to the detailed transcriptions that had preceded it. It was a mission debrief, clinical in its delivery, but laden with unspoken dread. Mission debrief, event, redacted. Task force, redacted. Task force dispatched to redacted. Facility for the containment of the anomaly, equipped with temporal stabilizers and psychic dampeners. No communication since the point of entry. The abyss didn't just stare back, it swallowed them whole. The council members sighed imperceptibly, their gaze lingering on the word no. It encapsulated an outcome they had considered but never truly accepted as a possibility. We'll need to escalate this to a higher threat level, they muttered, almost to themselves. Recalibrate containment protocols and engage orbital assets. The anomaly is no longer just a local event. It's a global imperative. It's not just defying us. It's mocking our understanding of reality itself. Assemble a multidisciplinary research team, they continued, issuing new directives into the secure network. Physics, metaphysics, computational theorems, quantum mechanics. Get me experts in fields we haven't even named yet. We're not just fighting an entity. We're warring against an inconsistency in the fabric of existence. The grim reality settled over the council chamber like a dark cloud. Each council member knew what the events encapsulated. Each understood the enormity of what had been unleashed. And yet, their faces remained impassive, their resolve unshaken. Archive the transcriptions, the mission debrief, and all related documents in a Level 5 secure vault, the council member concluded. This is no longer just about containment. It's about survival. Not just of this facility or humanity, but perhaps of reality itself. As aides scrambled to fulfill the cascading orders, the council member pondered the daunting riddles that the anomaly presented. The transcription had been a desperate cry across the void, one that had reverberated through the halls of calculated logic and cold empiricism. But cries, even the most harrowing, fade eventually, absorbed by the insatiable darkness. And in that chilling moment, the council had to confront a terrible, cosmic question. What happens when the darkness decides to cry back?